Okay, so this is a continuation from yesterday's lesson on the ray model of light. I want you guys to watch this prior to completing the actual lab, the informal lab that you have, the virtual informal lab that you have. Um, so after the quiz, you should have submitted a quiz, and now you can watch this video. Okay, so flat mirrors are uh, are really just any surface that can cause any type of reflection. I know you think of mirrors as maybe the mirror that you see in your bathroom or a mirror that you check yourself out in the mirror as you're walking out the door to make sure you're looking good. But a mirror is reflection is caused by light bouncing off of a surface. Again, that doesn't necessarily have to be a super reflective mirror. It could be your table, it could be your textbook, it could be a mug. Okay, it's anything where incident rays can bounce off of and hit your eyeball. Okay, a mirror, okay, or is any polished surface that causes light to reflect off of it. Again, doesn't necessarily have to be a mirror, a typical mirror, but any reflective surface, anything that can reflect light. Okay, we also refer to the term plane mirror. Well, a plane mirror is just really a flat mirror. Okay, plane mirror. And you'll learn more about planes, X, Y, Z planes in grade 11 and 12, three-dimensional chemistry, physics, and mathematics as well. But that's beyond the scope of this course. So just remember that a plane mirror is anything that is flat. So we think about a plane mirror being a two-dimensional flat surface. Okay. In science, the following symbol is used to represent a mirror. So in real life, this is your actual mirror. Okay, you have a piece of glass, and then you have a very thin filament or thin, flaky, I guess, layer, very thin, that you could even peel off if you pulled off the glass behind the glass that causes the reflection. Okay, and you have this protective glass here. So this is your reflective thin film, and this is your actual glass. In science, the scientific symbol for a mirror is something like this. Okay, you have a flat surface right here, which is your reflective surface, and then you have to identify your opaque surface, so the surface that does not reflect. Okay, and that's the back of the mirror. Okay, and that would be the non-reflective surface with these little like hatch marks that you have here. Okay, so just remember that when you see a flat surface like this, okay, you can, and then with these hatch marks after it, you can definitely understand or see that, that this mirror is reflective on the left side of this image. Okay, for example, if I were to, let's see if I can insert here, let's go drawing, um, let's create a new drawing. So I'm going to insert a line here, just like this, boom, okay, and then I'm going to insert little lines behind it. Sorry, these are not going to be very good. Wow, that's really bad, eh? Okay, so I have my mirror. Sorry, that's terrible drawing. Okay, which side of this mirror is going to be the reflective side? If I gave you this drawing, hopefully it'd be a little bit better than this. Okay, well, hopefully you answered this side. Okay, this would be my incident ray right here. Okay, this would be my incident ray as there's a luminous source up here. Let's draw a luminous source up here of something. Let's go. Okay, there's your sun, it's blue sun, and it's emitting light rays down, and this is my incident ray hitting a reflective surface, okay, of a mirror of some sort. I'm going to save and close. I'm not going to insert that. I'm going to delete that now. Okay, so your incident ray travels in one direction. Some terminology you're going to need to know before you actually jump into this lab is I'll show you in 2 seconds. Okay, so before you move into the lab, you're going to have to know a number of different things. One is incident ray. We've talked about the incident ray. That's your incoming light ray hitting the mirror. Okay, then you also have a reflective ray, right? Once something hits a mirror or reflective surface, it has to bounce off of that reflective surface. Okay, so your mirror, you look in the mirror, it bounces, the light bounces off the mirror and is reflected away from the mirror. You can tell that by the arrows. So the arrow, the direction of the arrow here is showing incoming or incident, and then the reflected is showing a different arrow. Okay, you're also going to need to know this word right here, which is your normal. The normal is a perpendicular line that is drawn, okay, where the incident ray hits the mirror. The normal is a perpendicular line drawn at a 90 degrees to the flat mirror to the flat mirror. Okay, the incident ray meets the uh, the uh, the plane mirror right where the normal intersects the plane mirror. Okay, and then also the same thing for your reflected. Your reflected angle, your reflected ray bounces off, okay, and informs an angle with that normal. Okay, so always draw that normal perpendicular to the flat mirror, to the plane mirror, okay, and it needs to form an angle with this incident ray. Okay, my incident ray doesn't bounce here and my normal is over here. Okay, my incident ray bounces directly onto the normal. Okay, right, it meets the normal at an angle. And the angle at which the incident ray meets the normal is called your angle of incidence. Okay, if the, sorry, it's called the angle of incidence. Okay, that is the angle between the incident ray and the normal, not the incident ray and the mirror. Okay, you need to measure the angle of incidence is the angle between the um, incident ray and the normal. Then you also have an angle of reflection. The angle of reflection is not the angle between the reflected ray and the mirror, it is the angle between the reflected ray and the normal again. Okay, and so that's why it's important to draw that normal to meet the mirror where the incident ray meets. Okay, that gives you a total, that will give you both your angle of incidence and your angle of refraction or reflection, sorry. If you want to talk about your normal here, okay, let's talk about this for 2 seconds. Your normal forms a 90-degree angle with the mirror, whatever angle the mirror might be on, okay, but it always runs perpendicular at a 90-degree angle with your flat mirror, okay? So that means, okay, from here all the way to this normal, you have 90 degrees. If you were to measure the angle between the mirror and this incident ray, and let's just say it was, 45 degrees, then you would know that your angle of incidence would be 45 degrees, because 45 degrees to your incident ray from your mirror to your incident ray is 45. Then your angle of incidence from your incident ray to your normal would be 45, because this angle right here is perpendicular, perfectly perpendicular, and it's therefore 90 degrees. Okay, you'd have already had your quiz, but now it's time to do the lab investigation. Follow along with the video on the lab. I'll show you quickly what the the virtual lab is going to look like. Okay, so this is the virtual lab. Okay, um, the the objective of the lab is right here. So plane mirrors are all around you. The mirror that you look into when brushing your teeth, the rear view mirror in your car, and the mirror dentists use to look inside your mouth are all plane mirrors. In this activity, you will examine how light rays behave when they are reflected by a plane mirror. Okay, I want you to come up with a question for this experiment. Okay, you don't need any of this equipment; it's already provided for you in the video. I want you to read through the procedure, get familiar with the procedure, and then watch the video. Okay. Um, I will discuss this in more detail during lessons, but while you're watching the video, maybe write down the angles of both angle of incidence and angle of reflection. And again, we'll talk about that. Once you write all those down, you're going to answer these 3 questions. Please submit this on the Google Classroom as soon as you're done. All right, I'll see you in class, and we'll walk through this a little bit more in detail.